The Mystery of My Ex-Wife. Tanaka Koutaro. In what is now Hakudamaki, Nagasaki, there lived a young man named Takeda along the Nakajima River. The house was slightly damp and shaded by the tall two-story house next door, with only about 2 feet of sunlight shining in from the window facing east for about half an hour in the morning. The young man had returned to his home after finishing university in Tokyo and living in the Yamanote area for a while, but he had just married a beautiful wife and had no worries about his livelihood, so he didn't care about housing. Their relationship was therefore passionate and glamorous. In the meantime, his wife became pregnant, and the following year she gave birth to a boy, but the birth was extremely difficult and the mother was in danger of contracting puerperal fever. The young man stayed up for many nights, nursing his beloved wife while he went around to get breast milk for the baby. The sick woman held her husband and the baby close. "I don't want to die. I don't want to die. If I die, how will this baby grow up? And you an arrow?" She cried, but she died a few days later. The young man had to raise the baby on his own, but if he was absorbed in that, he wouldn't be able to work. He followed his friend's advice and took a second wife. The second wife was a kind woman, and she caressed the baby that she hadn't conceived. And her gentle smile was enough to brighten up the gloomy family. The second wife urged her husband to take the baby and go to the grave of the first wife every month without fail. Before long, the 3rd anniversary of the first wife's death was approaching. At that time, the baby had gotten into the habit of waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. That night, the baby woke up as usual, so the second wife picked up the baby and went to the bathroom. While he was letting the child relieve himself, he glanced aimlessly at the sooty wall in front of him. He felt as if there was something at the top of the wall, so he ran his eyes upwards. There was a woman with a frightening face, with both hands raised as if about to grab something, looking this way and that with eyes full of tears. The second wife cried out. The young man woke up upon hearing the second wife's unusual voice. At that moment, the second wife came rushing in and clung to the young man. The child had been thrown out and cried loudly. The young man thought it was ridiculous, but the second wife was so frightened that he went to the bathroom. He struck a match and looked into the corner of the ceiling, but there was nothing there. The young man laughed at the second wife's superstition, but she would not accept it. The next night, the child woke up again to go to the bathroom, so the second wife forced her sleeping husband to wake up and hold the child while she followed behind. The young man had no choice but to go to the bathroom, and while he was letting the child relieve himself, he looked up at the wall in front of him. There he saw his ex-wife just as she had seen him the night before. She was watching the child with fierce eyes, as if she was trying to grab something, and was probably about to pick up the child. "Omio." The young man called out his ex-wife's name, but she didn't even turn around. "Omio, don't worry, just go. You know she will take good care of the child, but if you come, she will be scared." Even so, the ex-wife didn't even look back. The young man gave up and went outside, but when he went out alone at dawn, there was nothing there. There was also nothing there when the second wife was alone. From then on, the second wife felt as if her first wife was following her wherever the child was, whether in the bedroom or the tea room. So the couple decided to move out of the house, but they had a hard time finding a suitable home. They were getting annoyed about this when, one night, at a time when electric light was not yet widespread, the couple was sitting next to a hanging lamp with their child. The child was innocent. He was just messing around as much as he could. Then, when he suddenly jumped up at some omen, he hit the lamp that was hanging low with his head. The lamp tipped over, and the oil ignited, causing fire on all sides. The couple frantically hit it with cushions and clothes, but the fire did not go out. They were distraught. Then, as the fire in the room began to spin around, it turned into a large mass and went out in front of the entrance, where it rose into the sky as a pillar of fire. The two men caught a glimpse of his ex-wife in the shadow of the pillar of fire. They shivered as they embraced each other. When they regained their senses, they had been rescued from the fire by their neighbors. Their child had been burned to death at the front door, but as the neighbors had seen the mysterious pillar of fire, they began to spread rumors that this strange incident had occurred because Takeda's ex-wife had come to pick up their child.